Then on Monday, February 19th, the sun is going to move into the gate 55 and the earth is going to move into the gate 59. So again, we have two gates on the emotional solar plexus. So the gate 55 is on the emotional solar plexus and the gate 59 is on the sacral center. So coming off of the previous transit, we've got the same two centers highlighted by these particular gates. So the sun moving into the gate 55, this is the gate of spirit in traditional human design or the gate of faith in quantum human design. It is on the emotional solar plexus and it's in the knowing circuit. So the knowing circuit is individual circuitry. It's here to be different. It's here to bring change. It's where the evolutionary impulse of humanity runs through the human design chart. And the gate 55 is a vital part of our understanding of what we're moving into, of our evolution. Because the 55 is about knowing that we'll have what we need when we need to have it. So it is a sense of abundance, and not an abundance of accumulation, of having more and more and more. It's not that kind of abundance. It's the abundance of understanding that we live in a benevolent universe and that we are provided for, and that when we are in right relationship with ourselves, with other people, and with the living world, then we always have what we need when we need to have it. And this requires a lot of faith because our culture does not teach us that. Our culture generally teaches us that we don't have enough, that there isn't enough, that we have to scramble for things. It's based in scarcity. The Western culture really grew out of a notion of scarcity and also excess, because they're kind of two sides of the same coin, right? Which is where we get the development of empire and colonialism, which basically the process of that was to say, we're going to go into the lands of an indigenous people and we're going to extract from the people and from the land what you can, leaving those people without enough, but then moving that excess over to a nation state. So Rome was the people who perfected this, right? All roads lead to Rome, and all the money went to Rome from whatever indigenous culture they went and colonized. And so this is a basis that we're still living with 2,000 plus years later, where this legacy of empire has taught us that, if we're not careful, we're going to be the people taken from. We're going to be the people extracted from. And we're not going to be the people who are going to be able to have more than we need, right? And this is where our unhealthy desire for wealth comes from, hoarding comes from. So the 55 really stands opposed to that, if you will. It says, no, we don't have to live that way. And in fact, people who live close to the land, which is what being indigenous means, is being connected to the land, understand that we are provided for and that we have what we need when we need it. Now, does that mean that we sometimes don't have lean years? No, of course, we can still have lean years. But it does understand that we are in this right relationship with the living world. So this is an awesome time for you to be looking at what's your relationship to this kind of sense of not enoughness, right? This mantra of scarcity, which you can see just like happening all over in media and in culture. What's your relationship to that? And can you find a way to shift that to a deeper sense of, I have what I need when I need to have it, so that you're moving into this present moment and not projecting yourself out into the future where you're afraid that you don't have enough, right? I think if you were to take where you are now and you're like, oh no, but 6 months from now, I won't have what I need. People do this with retirement all the time. I'm not going to have what I need when I'm 80. I'm like, yeah, and you're 40. Why are you stressing out about that now? It doesn't mean that you can't save her for retirement or if you can't be smart around money. But if you go into fear around that, that, you're not using your creative energy. You're letting that splenic energy come up, okay? And you want to watch out for that. So the 55 is saying, hey, be in the present moment. Take a look around right now. Do you have what you need here in this moment? And is it possible that you have what you need when you need to have it? I know for me personally, this kind of mantra has gotten me through some really difficult times where I did go into a state of fear. I have gates, a number of gates on the spleen lit up in my chart, and I can go into the fear of the future, and then I'm like, okay, wait, dial back. Okay, what does the gate 55 have to say? The 55 is you have what you need when you need it. And so if we can move into a state of gratitude for what we've already received, we can start to feel that abundance, and we can start to unravel the conditioning that we have from the overculture that there isn't enough and that we have to compete with others, and that we, if we don't do that, we're going to end up, like a bag lady. I mean, people have told me that, like, I'm going to end up on the street, being a bag lady with a shopping cart, right? Like, these images roll around in our minds. And I'm not saying there aren't people who live that way, because there are. But do you want to give your energy to that particular story? I don't think so, right? So then, interestingly enough, the earth is lighting up the gate 59, which is on the sacral center. So it's primary life force energy. And in traditional human design, it's called sexuality. And in quantum human design, it's sustainability. So it is part of the defense circuit, which is a sub-circuit of the tribal circuit. So it's about our relationships. And it is the part of the defense circuit that is about providing for. And it is part of the channel of love and war, or the channel of mating, which are traditional human design names for this channel. And it's been renamed sustainability, which is about how are we utilizing our powerful life force energy, right, in ways that are sustainable. Of course, sexual energy is one component of life force energy, but it's not the only aspect, right? Life force energy, prana, chi, it's what gives us the ability to engage with life, right? So it's a very important primary energy. And so when we think about the sun lighting up the 55, which says, hey, we have what we need when we need to have it, the 59 is saying, yeah, let's look at how we're living, and sustainably, in the sense that we're not overdoing. You might even want to move into a sense of regeneration, which is how do we not just be able to keep doing what we're doing, but how do we actually heal and regenerate? Because this is what we need to do with our planet, and this is often what we need to do with our bodies. And sometimes what we need to do with our relationships too is just sustaining a relationship that isn't working that great. Don't you want to regenerate it and make it to be a relationship that does work great? So you might just think about that a little bit for yourself, because a lot of us are moving into really looking at regenerative strategies, regenerative culture, regenerative agriculture, and moving over beyond sustainability. And that understanding that we have what we need when we need to have it is a core component of that, right? But looking at how are we using our life force energy, and how are we using the life force energy of the living world, right? As the planet's dominant species, how are we using that precious life force? And are there ways that we need to regenerate our relationships so that we can have a better relationship with that living world, as well as with the people in our lives, our family members, our beloveds, our close people in, because the defense circuit is kind of about that close in community. But I would also suggest that it's more than the close-in community of human beings, it's also the close-in community of all of the living beings that are in the immediate ecosystem of where you live. So that might be something that you want to explore for yourself during this transit.